Hey, Brad.
Hi, Sal.
It's fall time here. We've got kind of a storm going on outside.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have some thunder again today
Yeah.
during our recording.
Yeah.
That might be fun.
We'll see.
Yeah. So, where it wasn't stormy, but it was quite warm, was when we visited Yangon in Myanmar.
Myanmar, yes. Yeah, that was nice. I was surprised. I mean, we went there to go to Pagoda, but we spent several days in Yangon. Just Of course, it's a big city. It's their capital,
Right.
and I'm very glad we did.
I'm glad we did too. We were really close. There's a lake near the Shwedagon Pagoda, and we stayed really near that lake. Had a chance to do some walking around there and visit the really spectacular pagoda temple in Yangon, Shwedagon.
Shwedagon Pagoda. Oh, it's fantastic. From our hotel, we were like on the 6th floor near, and the restaurant part was entirely glass, and you're just looking out, and it's up on a hill.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's across a valley, but it's just up on a hill, and then this beautiful golden pagoda. Just particularly at night, it's just lit up, and it's spectacular.
Really pretty.
Yeah.
Really beautiful. In the Southeast Asia, when you visit the temples, you have to always take off your shoes.
Yeah.
So you can't walk around with your shoes on. You have to go barefoot.
And this, because it's on a hill, around the bottom of the hill, there's shops in different places. So you just leave your shoes outside one of the shops, and okay, well,
Sure.
and you hike up all the stairs and everything, and yeah, it was really unique.
Really beautiful. We had a chance to hear some people praying and chanting. That was quite beautiful. We spent a lot of time there. A few hours.
Several hours. Yeah. Well, when we first got there, the sun was out, and it's is it marble? I mean,
I think it's like marble or granite or something.
It's definitely a smooth rock of some sort, and when it's in the sun, it gets hot. So you're running from shade to shade, or you're on these mats that are really not feet comfortable. They're like the restaurant mats. They're kind of inch thick, and they have the holes, so it's not comfortable to walk on. But you're not getting your feet burned because
in that marble was really warm.
Yeah.
It was just such an amazing time. And when we were there, it was pretty shortly after they changed the tourism policy. So they weren't, I think in Yangon they're pretty accustomed to seeing Westerners, but it's just not as common to see Westerners there at that time.
They had opened it up 3 years prior, so maybe 2.5 years before, and we had to send our passports to Washington D.C. and to their embassy, and then they sent back, the visa and everything. You can do it online now. It wasn't that way, but I think that they were still new and wanted to. Everything was still paper.
Right.
So.
It was really interesting. There's a lot of, because of the British colonialism, there were some interesting buildings. They're colonial buildings.
Oh yeah.
They're
definitely.
not holding up so well in the humid tropical environment.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting city to be in. It was unlike anything we'd done before.
Right.
There was a lot of traditional clothing. The gentlemen they wear a wrap. It's like a cloth that they wrap around. I can't recall the name of that.
I don't recall that either. I know I bought one and 20 minutes trying to tie this because it's quite warm there. I mean, we're I don't think we were in shorts, but we were definitely in light long pants.
I wore a skirt like I always do.
Yeah, because if you're going into a temple, you have to be modest. So yeah, it was. I just couldn't get the hang of it, and I think I don't know what I did with it. It's probably still sitting in my closet, but I just couldn't.
It was a rather complicated tie situation because it's just a circular piece of fabric.
Right. Yeah, and
But it looked really comfortable. Like I'm sure they love wearing it because it's got to be better than
totally.
heavy trousers or something.
Yeah.
We took the circular
Yes, that
railway.
was great. They have a train that goes around the city, and it's a commuter train. So it kind of goes out into the country in a big, what did you say, 28-mile loop?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a big loop.
But it takes like 3 hours.
Yeah, it takes, and it would come up to a stop, and you would see vendors, along the tracks, and they were selling food or clothes or everything. So all the major stops, people would get off and buy their dinner or whatever and go home.
Yeah, that was really fun because you got to see just a big variety of different environments in surrounding the capital city, which,
Everything from, all the urban areas to, you're going past farmland. You see these farms and
lots of farms.
huts sitting out there. And it was really, really fun to see. And the kids were
commuter kids.
just fascinated by us.
Yeah. Yeah, they really enjoyed
they were, there was a door, and, we're looking out, and there's about 10 of them there, and they're looking over and smiling and giggling, and I'd wave to them, and that was fun.
It was fun, and we got great photos from the train as well, like getting photos of the vendors in the market, getting photos of the countryside. And it was like 20 cents.
Right, really cheap.
To do the 3-hour circular ride.
Yeah.
And get to see more of that area. The taxi cabs there were really affordable as well.
Oh yeah, when we were coming out of the Pagoda, we were like, because it wasn't the distance to walk home. It's at nighttime, and traffic in Asia just
no sidewalks, no crosswalks.
It's 6-8 lanes wide, and it's kind of a free for all. So we just saw a taxi, and I don't know if he spoke English or not. I don't remember. But I think we just showed it to him on the map, and he said something. It was $2. So I'm like, oh yeah.
We're taking taxis from now on just to avoid crossing the street.
Yeah. Well, in the daytime, I think it's fine. You can, picture it at night, because
it's hard to see because of the car lights, and there's not a lot of exterior, there's not street lights.
Yeah.
There you go.
So. But we also, there's several, obviously there's a lot of temples there. Sula, I don't know. Sula, temple. We took a ride, we walked down there, and,
Right, so we were near the Shwedagon, so we were able to walk easily to the circular train and to this other Sula.
We're staying downtown. You want to stay downtown. That's where, that's what you want to see and where you want to go. So, don't try to save $10 staying, far away. Although the taxis were cheap enough here, it's still better. Stay downtown.
So the Sula Pagoda is kind of on the river.
It's very close to the river, yeah.
It was pretty interesting too. They have some relics in the temple that you can visit. They had a bunch of turtles.
That's right. They had that pond and
so many.
Yeah, you can't count them because half of them were underwater. But they were popping up and coming out on some of the little islands and logs, and that was really cool to see.
That was a pretty fun day. We did that, and we took a taxi cab to a restaurant called Feel Myanmar Food, and that was really interesting too because again we're not fluent or even we don't speak any Burmese. Like a lot of the places we go, we're tourists. We don't speak the language where we visit, and this place you can go up to a counter and pick the food that you want. We picked way too much food, and then they brought us a bunch of extra stuff like rice and can't remember,
sauces and stuff. Yeah, it was
too much.
Well, like anywhere, you walk into a restaurant, they know you want food, so you have to point. We've done that.
Yeah,
many times.
The food was really good.
Yeah,
and
it was very good.
Food was good, service was good. We got through it somehow.
Yeah.
Left a bunch of food on the table, but
you just couldn't eat it all.
That was really nice. That was great. You were saying something earlier about the ferry terminal, but I don't recall that.
Well, when we were at that second, the Seoul Pagoda or temple, I'm not sure what it was now that I'm thinking about it.
A pagoda.
Pagoda, thank you. We walked down in the ferry, and it's a ferry yard, but it's the wooden boats, and they have this plank that's like a foot wide, and they just drop it on the boat and on the dock, and people just walk onto these old boats, and it takes you across the river. It's the Yangon River.
Ah.
So, but you know, it's not a ferry that you would think of in.
Or like put your car on.
Right, yeah. You know, it's not a Greek ferry or, you know, something you'd see in a larger city. They're just small wooden boats, and people, and it's very interesting to see that.
It was such an amazing experience. I think I would definitely go back.
Oh yes, I would love to go back there.
Yangon was kind of our central, you know, you couldn't get from everywhere really easily with flights. I don't think they've developed their tourism as much. Maybe it's more developed now, but at the time, you couldn't get, you could fly from Bangkok to Yangon, but then we couldn't get a second flight to Pagoda, which is the next spot we're going to talk about.
Oh, on the same day.
Right.
Yeah, we had to, did we just spend one day in Yangon? No, we spent.
I think we spent 2 days there,
Okay,
but it was like we went there because we had to connect through that.
Right.
So it wasn't, I mean, we were there for a very short time, maybe let's call it 3 days total, like a day and a half on either side.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about the real attraction for us was going to Pagoda.
Right. That's what got my attention. But that being said, don't skip Yangon. You know, there's Mandalay, there's Inye Lake, and then Bagan are the big attractions. But don't skip Yangon. Well worth the trip.
Yeah, I agree. I would go back, and I would recommend.
I took a picture of the Shwedagon Pagoda because we were there. We went late afternoon because we watched the sunset. We watched the lights come on in this just huge, beautiful golden temple. And I took a picture of this. And a couple years later, I'm looking at a National Geographic picture, and the thought entered my mind, that's my picture, that exact picture. They didn't do any better than me. I'm sure they did. But that being said, I mean, you can't take a bad picture of it.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I had it was a, you know, a nice point and shoot, but it was you know, Kodak point and shoot. Took beautiful pictures. And yeah, you definitely can't take a bad picture there. And there are hundreds, if not thousands, of smaller temples around that.
Right. It's like the Sula or Seoul Pagoda. There's the pagoda, but then there's like a temple area surrounding both Shwedagon and it's probably how they always do it.
Yeah. So, and people were there, you know, praying, lighting candles, lots of different things going on. Absolutely. Go to Yangon, or don't miss Yangon on your way through to something else. How's that?
It's good. Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Ab.